Hey guys.
Good morning.
Time.
Good morning. So we are here with Lee today. Lee and Brett, Brandon, and I met at the SCCUA conference, which is a credit union conference here locally in Temecula, California. And we realized pretty early on that there were a lot of synchronicities in the types of things we were doing, him in cybersecurity, us with identity theft and credit monitoring, specifically around new trends with identity theft and what's happening with dark web and asset management, that kind of a thing. So Lee, if you don't mind sharing, I'd love to hear a little bit about how you're working with credit unions and what your recent trends are that you're seeing.
Yes, thanks, Diana. So I'm the president of Btech. We provide cybersecurity services for over 125 credit unions across the country. And when we started speaking at this conference, right away, we found all these things that were very similar about our businesses and kind of some of the trends. So ransomware, right now, unfortunately, credit unions are a target. And just here in California, since January, we've seen over 20 credit unions report breach to the DFPI. That number is staggering. That really alarms me. And the trend is, over a year ago, they would have just encrypted the servers, and that would have been a business inconvenience. The credit union would have to pay the $15,000 or whatever to get that server unencrypted. But the trend now, honestly, in the last year or so, is the attackers are getting into the environment, then they lay dormant, and during that period of time, they steal out of the credit union the member information. And it's what we call a double extortion. So the value now of that ransomware attack is not in the ransom to get the encryption key to unencrypt the server, but really the threat is they're going to release all of that member PII on the dark web unless the credit union pays that ransom. We had a case recently we were referred to a credit union in Texas, 29,000 member records, and it was a $2.5 million ransom. The credit union didn't pay it, but now you've got the reputation. You've got to help the members. What do you do?
And it's employee information as well, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, that's true. And in fact, that one case, they had all the HR data, so all the employees of the credit union, their information was there as well. And that's the scary part, is the real value now is not in that initial ransom like we used to see in the old days a year ago, but really what they want is that they want to steal that data out of the credit union because they sell it on the dark web, and there's a tremendous amount of value for that, the member's personal information. And when you told me about your services and what you guys do, I was like, okay, there is definitely a market for this, and every credit union should use IDIQ.
Oh, thanks, Lee. I appreciate that. And every credit union should use your services as well with cybersecurity. And no matter what we try and do preventatively, right, which is half of the battle with what you're doing, what we're doing, you're going to have that new employee that clicks on that phishing email, and now it's happening, no matter what you've tried to do, and you have the information that's out there, and that's where we kind of come in. So I'll have Brett explain kind of what we do and what we were talking to you about.
Yeah, so if that does happen and the member's information, their PII, is being sold on the dark web by a credit union utilizing our services, that member would get notified in real time that any piece of their PII, their personal information, is currently trying to be sold on the dark web. Now, that could be social security number, that could be a passport, that could be medical records, a list of different things that could be sold on dark web. And then if that ends up actually being sold on the dark web, we have restoration. So we can actually provide and help that member receive their funds that would ever happen to be stolen from them. And then we're very, very easy to partner with in regards to the credit union. So we actually make it very turnkey for them. We provide all of the marketing, we provide all the restoration. We actually have a tier 3 department here on campus in Temecula. It's our fraud department. So again, worst case, if any member's information is being sold, once they get that real-time alert, they can always reach out to us, and we actually work with them hand in hand on how to be able to restore, whether it be their information or credit or funds, whatever happened to be stolen.
Yeah.
And
so
that, we talked about that, was like, who are they going to call? And unfortunately, if all the members start contacting the credit union doesn't have the resources. And you know, again, it's one of those things you kind of have to have in place ahead of time. You know, I often get phone calls from credit unions that have already had a breach, which is a horrible feeling. I'm like, you know, there's a lot of things that we could have done that, you know, wouldn't have been that difficult to help reduce this risk. I mean, Diana, you see that also, right?
Absolutely. So we get that as well, where credit unions are asking, hey, is there anything you can do now that we've had this information leaked or the identity theft has occurred? And unfortunately, just like any other type of preventative solution or insurance, although the solution is very inexpensive, especially with the partner pricing for credit unions, if you don't already have it in place, then you are looking at a difficult situation where you're having to maybe use your, you know, loan loss provisions or some kind of loss provision for this. Now that this is something that's happening, you know, account takeover is up 90% year over year, just in identity theft cases because of the surge of e-commerce, which has been super convenient when we're, you know, ordering our Uber Eats or our Amazon packages. We've all taken advantage of it and it's not going away even now that things are open again. The downside of it is that that data is out there. And as we can see just from these statistics from 2021, the information is being leaked and it is being exposed and people need to have that protection. And 80% of them don't have it. 50% of them expect to have it already from their bank, their credit union, or their insurance. And it's just not something that consumers have. You know, over 80% have nothing in place. So we just want to educate people, you know, partner with other security companies that are getting the information and the data out there on what is happening and how to really help put something in place versus react to it only. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad we could do this little coffee talk. I hope that
Love it.
Thanks.
lots
Lee.
of our
Yeah,
credit
please.
union friends out there can learn from this. And again, you know, security is 9/10 awareness. You got to ask questions. You got to make sure that you're understanding what the risks are. This trend of attacking credit unions and stealing information is new, kind of in the last year or two. And we hope that credit unions will find this information valuable. And again, we want to make sure those members are protected. So.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much
All
for
right.
your time. Reach out
Yeah,
if you have
thanks,
any
guys.
questions and let's do it again.
All right.
See you soon.
Enjoy your coffee.
Thanks, Lee. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Did it stop recording?